The town was silent as dusk settled in, its lanterns casting a soft, flickering glow against the cobblestone streets. A faint hum of bells, distant and melodic, carried through the cool evening air. At the far end of the square, tucked away between forgotten shops, stood a place out of time, Elias's Clockmaker workshop. Inside, a symphony of chaos and order played out. Hundreds of clocks ticked in an uneven chorus, their hands sweeping across countless hours, each one a testament to a moment captured. Bent over a workbench cluttered with brass and steel, an old man named Elias polished a tiny gear with trembling fingers. He paused, his gaze drifting to a peculiar golden clock resting on a high shelf. Its hands moved backward, and its tick was deeper, heavier than all the rest, a resonant heartbeat in the room. Elias, the town's lonely clockmaker, was the keeper of a secret that ticked louder than time itself. Suddenly, the bell above the shop door chimed, a sharp, clear sound that startled Elias from his reverie. A young girl entered cautiously, her small hands clutching a velvet pouch. She approached the counter and gently placed a broken pocket watch upon the worn wood. Her voice wavered as she spoke, filled with a hope that was nearly heartbreaking. "Sir," she began, "can you fix this? It belonged to my father. It stopped the day he never came back." Elias picked up the watch. The cool metal rested in his palm, and as he saw its face, his own paled. The design, the intricate filigree, it was an exact match to the golden one on his shelf. With a shaking hand, he turned it over, his thumb tracing the familiar engravings on the back. "This," he whispered, his voice barely audible, a thought spoken aloud to the listening clocks. "This should not exist here." The girl's name was Lena, her wide, searching eyes were fixed on his face, sensing the shift in the air. "You know this watch, don't you?" she asked, her voice soft but insistent. Elias hesitated, a lifetime of secrets weighing on his shoulders. He looked from the watch to the girl and back again, then gave a slow, deliberate nod. Without another word, he set the watch on his bench. As he began to work, the shadows in the room seemed to thicken and deepen. Every movement was precise, every tool handled with the expertise of a master. He oiled delicate gears and adjusted the hairspring with practiced care. Yet there was a strain in his posture, a tension in his hands, as though he feared what would happen once this tiny mechanism was brought back to life. As if in response, the golden clock on the shelf began to chime, but its melody was all wrong. It chimed in reverse, a haunting backward echo that made the very air vibrate with a strange energy. The other clocks seemed to fall silent, listening. "This watch," Elias said at last, his voice carrying a mixture of awe and profound dread, "was forged to defy time. It's a key, not just a keeper of hours. But every stolen moment, every second borrowed from the past, demands a price." Lena leaned closer, her knuckles white, as she gripped the edge of the counter, her voice trembled. Does it have something to do with my father?" Elias's tired eyes softened with a deep, sorrowful empathy. He looked at the girl, seeing in her the reflection of a pain he knew all too well. With a final, gentle touch, he placed the last gear into the watch. He took a deep breath, inserted the winding key, and turned. And the world shifted. An absolute, profound silence engulfed the room. The chaotic ticking of the clocks vanished. Outside the shop window, the town stood frozen. A single drop of rain hung suspended in the air, a perfect crystal hanging just above the street. A man walking his dog was locked in place, his foot raised mid-stride, his expression unchanging. Lena gasped, clutching the counter for support, as a wave of vertigo washed over her. "Time has stopped," Elias said gravely, his voice the only sound in the motionless world. "We walk now between its moments. Do not wander too far. It is a dangerous place." As he spoke, the newly repaired pocket watch in his hand began to glow, its light spilling across the dusty workshop like liquid gold. And in that light, a figure started to shimmer into existence. It was a man, his face warm, his arms reaching out as if in an embrace. But his form was ghost-like, translucent, caught in the very instant of his final breath. "Papa!" Lena cried, her voice cracking with disbelief and love. She rushed toward him, her hands reaching out. She threw her arms around him, but it was like embracing smoke, a warmth without substance that slipped right through her fingers. Elias's voice was filled with a trembling urgency. "He cannot hear you, Lena. He can only feel your presence, a faint echo of your love." Stay too long, and you will become bound to this broken hour forever. A ghost alongside him. Tears streamed down Lena's face as she held on, trying to anchor him to this moment, to her. For a heartbeat, she held him tighter, as though her will alone could make the world stand still forever, just for them. But then she saw the peace in his spectral eyes, a final, quiet acceptance. Slowly, painfully, she let go. The golden light around her father flickered, wavered, and then faded completely, leaving only the memory of his warmth behind. The watch fell silent in her hands. And just like that, time resumed its forward march. Outside, the frozen raindrops struck the ground with a soft patter. The man continued his stride. The town breathed again. Inside the quiet shop, Lena stood motionless. Her tears were already drying, leaving behind a faint, bittersweet smile. She looked at Elias, her eyes filled with a gratitude that needed no words. "Thank you," she whispered. Elias gently took the pocket watch from her and walked over to the shelf. He placed it beside the golden clock. The two sat in quiet harmony, their ticking finally blending into the vast, unending chorus of time. Time grants us memories, not eternity. It gives us moments to cherish, but it always moves on. And perhaps the truest courage lies not in holding on to the past, but in finding the strength to move forward. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you were moved by this story, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more tales that explore the quiet, magical corners of the world. Subscribe us for more stories.